true free market of ideas if people are able to debate, and the ones that are persuasive win, and maybe that's more true.
In the future for like upcoming Nick Fuentes spaces, which I think are going to continue to be huge.
Is he about to give a guideline on how to make this as anti-free speech as possible so they could celebrate their freedom of speech?
Let's try to limit the amount of...
Actually unbelievable. What a cowardly... This is why liberalism is the best, and this is why illiberals cannot be tolerant of a diversity of opinion in society. It's because when illiberals are forced to stand to scrutiny, they get obliterated.
Destiny comes on and literally just your blood pressure goes up because it's just like, and to his credit, I think it's an effective tactic, but it's just this like constant like interrupting and just battering ram sophistry tactics. It's like every time we do a debate, I just feel like a headache by the end of it. I'm like, shit.
He's so mad.
The Red Pill Avengers.
You try to deplatform Hassan and Keffels? I don't think so, but I don't know. I don't trust anybody when people give me their recollection of things. I think I was off screen in my chat once and we watched Keffels, and I think she had like a bunch of slurs on her screen. And then I think some people reported her or whatever, but I don't know. This has happened to me so many times. People are like, oh, didn't you try to deplatform? I was like, I guess maybe I did. And then when I go back, it's like never what they say. So no, I don't trust any of those things. I do know that Fuentes and his crowd, though, actively continue to try to deplatform people. And they do that. I had multiple people DMing me.
Why did you want to flag down Porcelain? What did he do?
Because the guy's annoying and his content should be...
Oh, so honestly, it's annoying.
His content sucks, so it shouldn't be online anymore. And I get to say that, okay? And I get to choose. I think we should flag you because your content sucks too.
I report when like people are shitting on me, I report their streams. I report everything they have to try and get them banned.
I think Andy Warski and I think Baked Alaska even was DMing me like, yeah, Fuentes and his crowd like constantly try to deplatform people on the internet, spam report people, they gay ops everywhere, they bot the things, they flood comment sections. Like he doesn't have a very large fan base, but he has one of the most active, like militarized fan bases. If you go on Telegram, you can like always see the marching orders. When you say anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism becomes indistinguishable, does that mean you think they are actually anti-Semitic, or you just can't tell which one it is? I don't know. This is what I think is true. Okay, here's what I think is true. Okay. I think that the majority of the people who are young and protesting right now want Israel to turn into a one-state solution. The majority of them won't acknowledge that if they do that, it'd probably get violent for a lot of Jews. If it did get violent for a lot of Jews and a mass exodus happened, they wouldn't care. So would you consider that anti-Semitic? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. If that happened with any other race, they would consider it racist. But because it's Jews and white people and wealthy people, they don't care. So I don't know. Yeah. Just saying, in my opinion, the point in the Twitter space where you cut through all the BS and imploded Nick's whole facade is when you called him anti-American. He was so mad because he knows it's true. Yeah, I know. You acknowledge that your point of view is fundamentally anti-American. From the founding fathers, the framers, 100%. The law.
Americanism is a heresy in the Catholic Church. You know that if you knew anything. But
okay,
you get
so
all
then why the even in this country? Why not go live in Rome, or go live in the Catholic Vatican, or go live in prehistoric wherever the I'd be in the United States and try to change this into some theocratic regime when that's not fundamentally what the country is about?
We want to make it better. We want to improve it.
You don't want to make it better. You want to destroy the country. Like, you understand. The funny thing is, you are like as
You're
bad
literally
or worse than the Jewish invaders that you accuse of trying to destroy the country. You are overtly saying that you want to run it as a theocratic regime, that you want religion and God to be the number one thing we answer to and not the Constitution. Yeah, so you're worse than any Jew you accuse of trying to frame their law or their allegiance or whatever. You want to be loyal to the Vatican or whatever and you say they want to be loyal to Israel. At least Israel is real. Like, what the is the point of trying to say that the United States should be some theocratic regime and then act like you're better than any other group of people trying to change the country?
Because one is right and one is not right. Your whole
fuck me. How did I not know that? One religion is right and the other is wrong. You're the first one in history to think of that one, Nick Fuentes. Good one, Chief.
But that is
good one,
Chief.
There's so much more I could have said about it too. It's so irritating. Like, your movement is called America First, and you're advocating for like a theocratic regime. Nick admitted he tries to deplatform people after you left the space. He said he does it because their content is bad and he doesn't want it on the internet. Nice. Yeah, I like that he crawled back in literally right after I left. This was the first time Nick admitted he was literally anti-American now. Maybe, did he? I don't know. Why were you invited if it was just a Nick Glazing session? Because these Twitter moderator people want to have bigger names like me there because they know it gets more eyes on their shit. So the goal is to usually bring somebody like me, just leave me muted all the time. I got to talk more than I thought I would, but why did you even agree to go? Well, I felt bad for the Krasensteins. They were debating. I got a DM from that Mario guy, and I got a DM from the Krasensteins. I was like, oh, well, these guys are getting dogpiled. And like, if they're letting other people talk, well, then I'll come on and chat. And yeah. Do you ever feel bad about the fact that all these conspiracy theorists have a large network of pundits who will circle jerk their talking points, whereas you're mostly alone in your position? Yeah, I mean, it gets annoying, but we fight the good fight. I don't know why. I don't know if I just got lucky tee-ups on this, but I feel like I made like 4 points in a row where it's like, oof. Like, if you're fans of these guys, you got to be thinking like, wait, what the like, complaining about the mainstream media for 2 hours, and then I bring up, like, you complain about the laptop story. Wasn't the New York Post, isn't that mainstream media that broke that story? Like, that's got to be like a major, like, oh shit, oh god. Like, I feel like that was a huge giveaway that these guys are retarded. A quasi-mainstream media journalist. This is the New York Post. It's not like we're talking about, you know, like a small YouTube channel or something, right? So even the New York
published that story, and then the entire media narrative had to shift in order to discredit the story as quickly as humanly possible. And the entire national security complex mobilized and got 51 of their top experts, like ex-director of the CIA, ex-director of the NSA, the people that had architected their entire national security state, the people that had lied to us about torture, that had lied to us about WMD.
Yes, I understand. You can talk about things from 20 years ago. That's fine. But the reality is,
discredit the story as quickly as possible.
And look who broke it. The most mainstream media people in the world. Giuliani had a copy of the drive.
Journalist.
This is a mainstream ex-mayor of New York. And then the New York Post, a mainstream media publication. Giuliani was not mainstream? How old are you?
So let me ask you.
No, wait. I want to hear the answer. Wait, hold on. I want to hear this. You don't think the New York Post counts as mainstream media, and you don't think Giuliani wasn't a mainstream political figure in the United States of America?
New York Post absolutely counts as mainstream media. What I'm saying is that a singular journalist got the scent, got the trail, and decided to write the story.
But I'm asking, how is that possible? And that was a mainstream media publication. How would that be possible? The CIA and the NSA and the FBI are controlling all these things. The part about Nick being anti-American was retarded. The part about Tate trying to pull a gotcha on me on the Tucker Carlson stuff because he had no idea what he was talking about and he was hoping I wouldn't was retarded.
Didn't Tucker get fired for having an opinion that went outside of the narrative of Fox News?
No, Tucker got fired because he almost cost Fox News $1 billion for lying on air. It's funny that you defend the fact that he had an original opinion. What you're actually defending is misinformation and lies, which is supposed to be something you guys are against, I thought.
Which opinion was this? That's not what I heard. Tell me, please educate me, Destiny.
The Fox News, the Dominion lawsuit. There were texts that were leaked from him where he admitted that he was lying on air about claims that Sidney Powell had made to him, and he was tired of lying to his audience about things about the Dominion voting machines being rigged.
Well, I don't know if that's a lie at all.
You don't know anything because you don't read any media. That's why you're out here saying things like they get marching orders from everybody. You don't know how any of these media companies are structured. You don't know where the teams get their information from. Like, why are you going to challenge me? How brave of you to assume that I don't know what the talk about just because I don't sit in my room, you know, sexting on behalf of all my sex slaves all day doesn't mean that, you know, I'm harder like you are. Like, yeah, I don't know. That was stupid. Watching like people try to simp for Nick after he admits that he wouldn't want Muslims or Jews being in government. Like, this is your champion? Make the Muslims in the call answer. Suleiman, Sneako, and Myron. Nick said he would never allow any Muslim in this country to hold public office. You're chill with that? You like that version of Nick's America?
It's much better than and like acting like we're even a majority in America is ridiculous. There's 3 million Muslims here. It makes more sense, and our ideologies align more than the alternative. I'd much rather have a Christian country than an atheist country. Yeah, if they're going to have strong Christians that going to sort everything to the Bible, I think that makes sense. That's what the whole point of Ye 24 was. Let's rewrite a lot of these things. Let's make sure that all the laws that we push forward go right back to the Bible. I think
you'd rather live in a Christian theocracy where Muslims aren't even allowed to hold office than you would in a secular democracy where Muslims can hold office. Like Muslim talks. This is the guy that you think is like better for you and your society when he doesn't want you to even being in government. Like, I don't know. I just think it's so stupid. I'm pretty sure Nick Fuentes' restrictions on Jews and Muslim power go beyond just political positions and into top executive positions and stake ownership, any form of power. Yeah, of course it would. But again, I pointed that out too, that Nick will never take the brave position. Nick will say retarded shit like, I think that race is real and there are genetic differences. Okay, yeah, say what you really mean, right? That there are some races that are like intrinsically, like for black people, they're intrinsically lower IQ as a result of being black, and the group differences can be completely explained by differences of genetics, or largely explained at least. Like, make the strong claim, but he doesn't. He always makes the weak claim. Yeah, he never answered the Holocaust question. Yeah, at least like my biggest issue too is that like take the strong claim. I hate it when I'm around people that pretend that they do these like big brave claims. And it's like, okay, well, I've taken strong positions before and gotten in big trouble for it. Why don't you like take one? You're already banned from everything. Why the f do you care? And then also, yeah, all these guys on Twitter be like, people like Destiny. Yeah, Sneako, the dipshit. People like Destiny never get banned. I was banned on Twitter for longer than you and Fuentes combined. What are you talking about, motherfucker? Like, yeah, you got banned from YouTube. It wasn't because of your brave opinions on fucking Islam or on vaccines. It was because you basically made quasi threats to some fucking woman. You were unhinged. Like, Jesus. Do you think he really believes all the things he says, or does he just want to achieve a specific goal? Don't know, don't care, and it doesn't matter because, I mean, their followers believe it and they preach it, so they try to get people to act on it, so. Oh, yeah, and then not engaging with why isn't Hassan banned? You said it was all about Israel? Well, how is Hassan the largest political streamer on Twitch? Why isn't he banned right now? One point you always bring up about people like Nick not owning his real points implies he knows his points are awful and he has to hide behind more defensible points for cover. Yeah, he definitely does that. That's very intentional. Yes. You still apply for a Twitch unban every few months? Yes. I think my next application is in 2 weeks. Oh boy. So I can get shot down again. I feel like Fuentes is going to be unbanned from Twitch before me.
Which side do y'all think North Korea supports, Palestine or Israel? Just guess. It is Palestine. The DPRK has actually never recognized the state of Israel. They have always upheld the right of Palestinian people to self-determination and resistance. And this is beyond moral and rhetorical support. The DPRK has actively armed and trained Palestinian resistance for decades. That includes the
Also, Nick hates free speech. He wanted to circle jerk in that echo chamber. Yeah, but that's not, like, that's kind of an own on his outside audience, but Nick won't even be shy about that if you corner him on that. He'll say, like, yeah, I'm not a big free speech guy. I think he even says that on his show. I think I've heard him say that before. Like, remember what I said before, okay? This is why you got to be careful with the Fuenteses and the Hamas pikers of the world. It's because they share a lot of very core values. And one of the big core values these people share is anti-liberalism. They hate liberalism, and they hate liberal values, okay? A Nazi like Fuentes and a tanky like Hassan want nothing more than to throw a liberal in jail, right? Freedom of speech, that cuck shit. Freedom to believe in like other forms of organization, like other government systems or economic, no, that, you go to jail, you, we execute you, right? Illiberal people tend to be fully aligned on those values. So socialists, communists, and Nazis are going to be like, or Christian theology, or whatever the they are, these people are going to be fully aligned on these particular positions, always. The First Amendment and that's a liberal thing, okay? That comes from liberalism, all right? Not cucks like tankies and fascies.
PLO, the PFLP, and the DFLP have trained troops by the DPRK. So while the U.S. is here training the IOF with police, the North Korea is training Palestinian.
Okay. Moss Spiker taking a break from his research. Jesus, what a title. To call Destiny unattractive because he's pro-Israel. Based. Liberalism is a rot and not a good long-term strat. And yes, the Constitution is early era library shit. An illiberal criticizing liberalism is the same energy as a 350-pound like lolicon jerker criticizing a woman because her elbows are too pointy. Like, it's the same energy. Oh, actually, liberalism sucks. And I'm going to tell you that this system of government is way better because here's 7 countries you've either never heard of before or have standards of living that are equivalent to the United States in the 1700s that I think are better than ours. The f*** out of here. Eat shit, loser.
Across the country. Listen to what the president said a short time ago.
Jesus, that dude won the genetic lottery? No, man. He's just a good person. And when you're a good person and you advocate for good causes, it clears up your skin. You become more physically attractive to everybody else. That's how it works. Not that like physical attraction matters in this circumstance, but that's why he has this aura to him, okay? Because he's a good...
I've unironically, there are people, there are people that believe this, right? Hassan must be joking, I think. I'm assuming Hassan is joking. But there are people that believe this. Would a president like Nick Fuentes be more loyal to the Pope than to the average American? Well, yeah, of course, right? If he believes in a Catholic theocratic government, the Pope has to be, right? Well, I don't know what Nick's like idealized form of government would be, but I can't imagine. There is no form of Catholicism that doesn't recognize the ultimate, at least the ultimate papal authority of the Pope, right? I don't know about government authority, but I mean, I feel like probably one would be downstream from the other, right? He probably hates the current Pope. Listen, Catholics don't always like the current Pope, all right? I think at their peak, I think the Catholics had 3 popes at once, okay? Some people disagree with the Pope too. Or look at Muslims, right? They disagree on that shit too. That's why Sunni and Shia Muslims exist. I think Shia Muslims believe that Muhammad named an heir, and Sunnis are like, I don't think he did, and yeah, it's like that. And I think that's the main split between Sunni and Shia. Yeah, but I mean, there's schisms in the church where there are multiple popes, and people are like, oh, well, f this, and
Especially if you are, on the right side of history, okay?
Any way to combat stuff like Hassan lying that you deny the aid truck strike and the deaths of Hind Rajab and the medic? I haven't even looked into the Hind Rajab stuff. I don't have any strong opinion on that whatsoever. There is no way to combat Hassan other than responding to him on my platform. I think I'll try to be more active in Twitter Spaces. I think there's a huge untapped audience there that, damn, I got so many like DMs and emails and things online that I hadn't seen before. I think there's a big online audience there that's really hungry for better political takes that I just wasn't aware of. So maybe we'll try to incorporate Twitter Spaces more. But I don't know, like, would I host a Twitter Space? Like, on what? Maybe? How many listeners were there? I have no idea. I don't know how to even check that. When you were pushing about Fuentes' real beliefs about Jews, do you think if you asked what's the real reason you bring up blank, do you think he would refuse to answer the question or lie? It depends. You have to be really careful when you phrase questions to people like that, because people like him will take it as an opportunity to yap and ramble. They don't actually answer the questions. That's why I try not to just ask questions. Like, I might ask one rhetorically and answer it, but they'll just use it to yap and ramble. You feel like you're the best person to fight gripers. I feel like Hassan or something would have drowned in that convo or made these guys look smart. I don't know. It just depends. I have to work. I'm just working on my rhetorical thing. I think in terms of information and everything, I think I'm way, 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 way beyond all these people. But the problem is the Vivance has given me more interest in the information thing, not the rhetorical practicing, but we'll figure it out. I mean, I'm good like rhetorically and debating too, obviously. That's my big strength, but you're getting any death threats to Twitter Space? I get death threats like every day now, so. Do you have media appearances in May? The upcoming media appearances that I have are on the 10th. I think I fly to DC to talk to Seb Gorka over whatever the fuck. Oh, with Trigonometry hosting that. And then on the 15th, I go to Vegas and talk to the Hodge twins. Oh boy. How do you cope with the death threats? Doesn't it have a chilling effect on you? No, it's just fucking retards. It's retards on Twitter who are ass mad. It makes me feel good because I see how ass mad they are because they know that I'm blowing the fuck out of their heroes so much. They're so fucking mad.
Go to the gym, be a kind individual. I mean, dude, come on. You guys saw a person unconditionally defending Israel's genocide.
Evil.
It goes to the same point that I was making earlier, okay? Sure, he could be a 7 too. When you defend ugly actions, it just shows, you know?
That's such a wild position to even... That's so wild. I wonder what his average audience member looks like. Jesus.
With a true free market of ideas, if people are able to debate and the ones that are persuasive win, and, you know, maybe that's more true.
I think that was a great space, Suleiman. I got to give you props for hosting that. Mario especially was getting a lot of like flack before, people calling him controlled opposition. I think he was just playing the optics game. Let me bring on some opposition to push back, because that's like, if you realize any.
God, I hate this stupid slimy fucking cuck. And he's a bigger, I don't even mean a cuck for like the sex shit. I mean, he's a cuck in terms of like sitting in the chair and watching Fuentes like fuck everything that he thought he believed in and like clapping along or whatever, and getting humiliated at the same time. Like, freedom of speech and free exchange of ideas is actually really important, but I think that Mario was really shitty when he brought on opposing opinions. I think that freedom of speech and free exchange of ideas is incredibly important when we all talk and agree with each other, but I really didn't like it when they brought on people that disagreed. I think we should have the freedom to say anything we want, but I really didn't like it when that one guy said things that I didn't want to hear. Like, how can you not hear like how retarded you're being? Like, it must be that like maybe he shot a lot of guns and he's deaf, so he can't hear himself speak. So he's like mixing up words or confusing definitions, and he's like deluding himself into thinking he's saying something reasonable, but he's actually just like completely out of touch with the words that are coming out of his mouth. I don't know.
On some opposition to push back, because that's like, if you realize anything with Nick Fuentes for the past couple of years, you can platform him as long as you have pushback, which is like probably got to be one of the most annoying things. Like, it's a historical moment to be reinstated. A big
a historical moment. The fake Muslim guy is over here, and it's like conversion to Islam, Fuentes getting unbanned on Twitter, and then me going to Mecca. This is like the top 3 moments of his grifter life right now. Historical moment because some motherfucking retard got unbanned from Twitter? Christ.
Like, it's a historical moment to be reinstated, a big win for free speech. And then immediately all the hall monitors got to come in and try to obfuscate and make the discussion about something else. And
if people really wanted to make the argument for like government institutions having a ton of power, or really wanted to make the argument that there's still crazy shit that goes on that I'm not giving these guys enough credit for. All they would have to do in a debate, imagine Andrew Tate being like, you don't think the CIA or the FBI is up to crazy domestic shit or psyops anymore? And I'm like, no, I think there'd be evidence of that. I think we'd see something. And imagine Tate's like, tell me, the Sneako that you see today, you really don't think that this one wasn't swapped out 3 years ago for another one? I would be mind fucked. It would be over for me. I would have to unplug the stream and take like 3 weeks off just to even consider how I would respond to that comment. I have no idea. I have no idea what the I would say in response to that. Fuck.
Skate and make the discussion about something else, and then talk about Wikipedia articles.
What? Like, look at how much of a bot, and he always is a bot. Like Wikipedia. Like, holy shit! Who talked about anything related to Wikipedia in this conversation? It's like he knows like 6 terms. It's so funny. He's like the same as like every virtue signaling leftist cuck. Like instead of colonialism, Western imperialism, and white supremacy, it's Zionism, Wikipedia, and like the World Economic Forum. Like it's the same grammar with a different vocabulary. It's the exact same fucking game with just like, I don't know, different courts. It's like, it's so stupid. And it's like so obvious too. Oh, I think I said that at least. Thank God. And Tate had the worst response. People that work in media are the most like social media hungry people in the universe. You think that all these people in all these networks across all these countries are getting fed the same marching orders and nobody's leaked anything, nobody's complained about anything, nobody's said anything? And why do we think that mainstream media is any more insulated from these problems than alternative media is? You guys will make fun of the marching orders from mainstream media, but I bet every single alternative media guy in here is anti-vax, thinks COVID came from a bioweapons lab, thinks that Russia has a right to invade Ukraine, thinks that all the charges against Donald Trump are made up, thinks that we shouldn't be supporting Israel. Like, you guys have literally copy pasted the same opinions between every single one of you, and you guys are talking like an army of NPCs about how the mainstream media gives you like fabricated opinions. Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Yes, we do all think the truth. That is
crazy how truth can be a perspective there, huh? But when you all think the same thing, it's not a conspiracy, but when the mainstream media does, it is a conspiracy. Crazy how that works. Because I think I said something like, you guys are NPCs too. Like, you all believe in the same things. And I named off like 5 things, and Tate was like, well, that's because we're right. Wow, you think you're right? Wow, bro. How unique are you? My God, I can feel the triangle hands forming in my brain with such an enlightened statement. You think you're right and everybody else is wrong? No way, Chief.
Wikipedia articles. So in the future for like upcoming Nick Fuentes spaces, which I think are going to continue to be huge.
Is he about to give a guideline on how to make this as anti-free speech as possible so they could celebrate their freedom of speech?
Nick Fuentes spaces, which I think are going to continue to be huge. If you look at this as like a post space and there's already so many people here, I would just say, let's try to limit the amount of yappers who are just trying to deflect the conversation.
Actually unbelievable. What a cowardly fuck. What an actual cuck. Like, Sneako should be like a Buddhist or something. Like, at the very least, choose like a more pussy religion, right? Because like at the very least, if you want to talk shit about Muslims, if you want to talk shit about Islam, be my guest, because religion. But like, you can't say that Muslims are pussies, okay? Muhammad was a literal warlord. This motherfucker signing treaties and then torching tribes as he marches through the desert, laying waste to the enemies around him, okay? With the, like, Christians have, like, we call it divinely inspired. When a Christian argues about their holy book, they're like, well, the Bible is divine inspiration. I'm like, what is a Muslim's like, what is divine inspiration, man? You're like, well, it means that God influences a guy and he writes what he thinks God is saying. Like, isn't that how yours is written? And they're like, no, the Quran is the word of God. And they're like, oh, like divinely inspired. No, it's just the word of God. There's no argument. Like, everything about Islam is so much more, like, hardcore. They've got politics. They've got warlords as their figures. Like, they've got, like, Jesus is walking around like kissing people's feet and washing them with his hair, and Muhammad is chopping them off. Okay, like, everything is so much more hardcore. So how do you get somebody like Sneako who's like, guys, if we want to do spaces, can we not have the opposition in here? Like, let's just like make sure we can all talk and not get interrupted. Like, did you actually get Keffel's banned? No, I haven't gotten Keffel's banned from anything ever. I don't have the power to get people banned. Nobody likes me. Okay, I don't have any pull to get anybody. I did get Keffel's banned. I got her banned from DGG. I probably banned her account. I don't even know if her account was banned in my chat. Okay, Jesus. Yeah, I don't even know if Muslims are allowed to translate the Quran. Are you? Doesn't the only official version exist in like in Arabic? I don't actually know. Are you allowed? Someone said you're allowed. I thought that like the only version that counts is like the original. You can translate it, but the true Quran is only in Arabic. And even for the same Bible, we've got like 30 different versions. I'm the king. God, and you would get demerits. Imagine showing up. Welcome to Catholic life, by the way. Imagine showing up to fucking Catholic school religion class, and they're like, read from the Bible here, and you're like, what? Mark chapter 7 verse 12, and it's like, okay, and then you start reading, the teacher's like, excuse me, and you're like, what's up? And you're like, you don't have the right version of the Bible. And I'm like, oh shit, now I get demerits. I get demerits because I brought the fucking the King James version of the Bible instead of like the international version or the English version or the whatever version. Oh, fuck me, I guess. My bad. Sorry. I got the wrong translation. And you get demerits for it. You actually get in trouble. Did you see how long Myron had his hand up? You reminded me of Hermione and Potions. Also, I'm so sorry, but the idea of like Andrew Tate there when I'm talking and he's like on his keyboard like I push it down. I push it down. Like, bro, really? Seriously? Is this where we're at? Is this where discourse is now? Seriously? My God. You didn't like Sneako constantly doing the thumbs down when you were speaking? Yeah, it was like, because when I go in and I speak, I'm working through these like, from epistemology to ethics to metaphysics, like all the thoughts that I've had that were all incorporated from the start to the end of philosophy, to the start to the end of my political positions, the years that I've spent, trying to figure out what are the good thoughts, what are the bad thoughts, how do I communicate them, are probably all defeated by the Twitter emoji spam from Sneako, just completely destroying my, like, well, fuck me. If he's going to give me the thumbs down Twitter emoji, is that the double tier laughing emoji? Not the double tier laughing emoji. Oh no. Anything but that.
How you doing? How you feeling your first space back?
I didn't love it. I thought it was good at first, and then I think Destiny successfully derailed it, which was his mission. But I thought the first, whatever that was, 45 minutes out.
Imagine me, how many times was I getting aggressively muted? How many times was Nick allowed to yap? By the way, this is why liberalism is the best, and this is why illiberals cannot be tolerant of a diversity of opinion in society. It's because when illiberals are forced to stand to scrutiny, they get obliterated. They can't survive scrutiny. But unfortunately, it's also why liberals kind of like go through periods where they get obliterated by illiberal people, is because liberals do tolerate the scrutiny. So you get dipshits like, like Cucko, or dipshits like, Nick Sombrero Fuentes or whatever, being able to come up here and make like the harshest criticisms possible with absolutely no factual basis, and like these basically totalitarian in authoritarian chat rooms where they censor all opposing opinions, because this is how illiberals attack liberals. Illiberals can only attack liberals from a foundation of liberalism because in their own societies they would be executed for the things that they say, which is also annoying. But
hour was great, and it was great to hear from Andrew Tate. I'd never spoken to him before, so you, me, him, Alex, Myron, total red pill Avengers moment. So
Red Pill Avengers. Holy fucking cringe. It's also so sad to see that like now, like, because Sneako is a really good like an alpha identifier. Like if you put Sneako in a room, he'll instantly get on his hands and knees and crawl over to ball suck whoever he thinks is the alpha in the room. And right now for him, that's it's Nick Fuentes. So now he's just like here like wagging his tail like a little puppy, like every time Nick says something nice about him or like includes him in his group. It's so pathetic. Holy shit.
Excuse me, total red pill Avengers moment. So that was really exciting, but went on too long. The moderation was bad. It was kind of a mess, to be honest with you. Probably would have been better if it was fewer people, but other than that, I thought it was great.
I mean, I just had Suleiman on my stream afterwards, and we were recapping the space. It was that big. It was like there was so much to talk about. But he was basically saying, he didn't say it specifically, but he insinuated that they pretty much had to have Destiny on, or Mario would have gotten canceled. You know how it goes.
Who even? No offense, but who even is Mario? Canceled from what? Isn't this guy exclusively known as like a Twitter debate hoster? What is he getting canceled from? Like, these guys victimize themselves so much. It's so pathetic. Like, Christ. Fuentes scammed like 500,000 from his community on like some donation shit. He's fine. Sneako literally travels the world. Like, you're fine. Like, what are you guys crying about?
On YouTube, it's like you need to have pushback against Nick, or else they're gonna go and shut it down.
Yeah, well, they had the Krasensteins, and I don't know I don't know. I didn't talk to Mario if Destiny was in it from the beginning, but it's totally a handicap. You know, to me, it felt like the Krasensteins weren't doing a good enough job pushing back. So they had to bring in Destiny to just send it in 100 different directions. I mean, it's not intelligent. It's not productive. And it's total fucking bullshit because, I mean, the guy said, oh, Nick is on my blacklist. Oh, he's on my blacklist. I think we both are. But he's this fucking insipid little pissant is going to show up on every big stream I ever do to just ask stupid questions.
Oh, he's so mad. I can't believe I ass rattled this 19-year-old's fucking tanned ass at fucking booty. Oh my God, he got so smacked the fuck up. He is out here crying, shitting and pissing and coming and eating his boogers all over the place. He's so mad. I didn't even know what the I didn't even want to stream tonight. I was doing things. I was hanging out with people. You guys dragged me in on this stupid Twitter thing. I can't believe he's molding. So what was this, like his coronation back on a Twitter? Oh my God, he's so ass mad over it. I can't believe Destiny was there.
Is going to show up on every big stream I ever do to just ask.
And it's funny too because the projection is real, right? Maybe I don't know if I need more evidence of this. I don't know if people can test these claims or not. Fuentes runs probably the most active brigading community on the internet. Everybody knows it. He gives orders directly from his Telegram. And this isn't even like conspiratorial. You can just join the Telegram and see. He gives orders on the Telegram. He boosts people's accounts on Twitter. They do it through organic, like they'll tell people to do it or they bought it. He does it on YouTube comment videos. They do it via emails. Like they do it everywhere. Like Fuentes like very actively directs his community across different social media platforms in order to astroturf or give the appearance, like they call it gay ops. They run them everywhere. They've done it on my communities. They try to do my Twitter community. They do it everywhere. Yeah. And so like him accusing other people of showing up and blocking people is so fucking funny. Don't give the illusion of it being some open speech, like free speech. It's like, host your own, loser.
Stupid questions like, the government just got it wrong. Like he totally got humiliated. Nobody thought he did well. Like nobody thinks that's persuasive, but he just, antagonizes everybody and just kind of slows everything down. Like he's just a retardant. He's a retard, but he's also just like a retarding force. Like he doesn't even really. By the end of it, we all kind of got to the right conclusion, and he was just saying stupid stuff like, "Yeah, well, the government just got it wrong sometimes," and people know that's not true. But it just makes it 10 times longer to get to the point when you just have that kind of constant, incessant, interrupting sophistry. So that was extremely irritating. But
I think everybody heard it. I mean, his existence is just to push away and distract and kind of just yap until people forget what the original point even was. I think there was a moment where everyone was just kind of getting exhausted. Like what are we even talking about now? But
that's the entire conversation, Sneako. You don't ever know what you're talking about. Yes, welcome. It just takes somebody like me to hold up a mirror to you to show you that you are absolutely and utterly f***ing clueless. Imagine if the 8 minutes of speaking time I had was enough to exhaust you. Maybe it's time to go take a nap. Let the grown-ups talk.
Regardless, I think it was overall it was a big win. I don't think that they got any wins there. And you're right, the Krasensteins, I've never heard about these guys before, but they weren't doing a good job. And Andrew Tate even got them to concede on a point about the media and about how they lie for money.
Yeah, that was. I mean, yeah, I think it was a good showing. He's just such a nuisance. But other than that, I think it was good. There were definitely a lot of good moments in there. You did well. Myron's great. Tate was great. Alex Jones, it's when he calls into these things, he's just a little too much, interrupting everybody, and the guy's just a beast. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to doing more spaces in the future where it's not like that, because that was pretty.
It's so funny too that both of these fading irrelevant losers are trying so hard to grasp at each other and try to make something happen here. Fuentes' peak popularity was prior to it was really prior to the Kanye stuff. Fuentes will never hit that level of cultural penetration or popularity ever again. Twitter's not gonna be the thing that does it for him. And Sneako is likely capped as well, unless he's significantly like Sneako maybe has the potential to change, but I don't even know who the fuck would associate with him or work with him anymore. So like both of these guys have like faded so far from any relevant eye, and they're trying so hard to like utilize each other's synergy to try to catapult themselves back into some sort of mainstream appreciation. But
stressful. And then we did that second space. I swear I thought that was Elon for most of it. So that was totally bizarre. I mean, I monologued for like an hour, and that was good. And then we did this back and forth with this strange impersonator that for the whole time I was literally texting you. I'm like, bro, shut up. It's Elon. Let me have my moment. And it's like this fucking freak, like skin suit Elon impersonator. I feel like a fucking idiot. And so that was just like totally.
No, we thought it was too. And that's why I was trying to get my talking point. I'm like, this is my moment to go and interview Elon, but it's not him. Like I saw pictures. It's not him. It's just he's even spoken to Elon on Spaces before. But I thought that everybody was trolling me, and it really was him for a while. But it's not. They're still convinced in the chat that it was. But we would love to have you on one of our Love Speech spaces. I saw you join Love Speech the other day. This guy Jacosta, he hosts good space, and we just have good conversations. We can have. I mean, obviously you're too tired today, but in the future, like we're not gonna like bring on. It's good to just have these conversations and not have like the weird, annoying distraction the whole time.
If you were Fuentes, what would you do to gain political relevancy again? Could he even do it with all his baggage? I don't know if he can at this point, because he hit like such huge mainstream attention and then got shut down by Donald Trump and everybody else. So it's like really hard to imagine him like ever hitting anything relevant again. But I mean, like once Trump is gone, the scenes will change a lot. He needs to ditch a lot of the super extremist rhetoric, but I think it's fun to him. And I don't know if he even has it in him to do that. Although they were kind of doing that prior to Ye, but he has to ditch the super like weird Charlottesville Nazi anti-Jew shit. It just doesn't play well with your audience. And like his audience has like truly become like a multicultural, diverse audience. Like Groypers are like black and Hispanic, and the weird like Catholic obsession is fucking cringe. Like he should just do didn't he used to call himself like a paleo conservative? They should just go back to that shit. Like be like the far right. Like you want to position yourself like farther right to Steven Crowder, but like funnier. I guess I don't know, I think something like that maybe has like a potential. But whatever weird cringe like ultra religious LARP thing he's on right now is just not it.
Yeah, totally. Would love to. I always enjoy our conversation and Myron, and it you know, Destiny comes on and literally just your blood pressure goes up because it's just like, you know, and to his credit, I think it's an effective tactic, but it's just this like constant like interrupting and just battering ram sophistry tactics. It's like every time we do a debate, I just get like a headache by the end of it. I'm like, shut.
He's so ass mad. Holy shit. I don't know why he's even saying this. Why would he give me the satisfaction of knowing that like I took 30 minutes out of my night to go and rattle the fuck out of you, and that's going to stick with you for like 30 days. Like I didn't like. It was what was yesterday? Was this yesterday? This was a Sunday night for me, and it was like a monthly period for you. It was like a defining moment now in your return to X, and it was just another stream for me, buddy. Oh my God, he's so fucking mad.
Every time we do a debate, I just get like a headache by the end of it. I'm like, shut the fuck up. So it'd be good to have a conversation with you and Myron, and you know, or
with the Red Pill Avengers. You know what they really
the Red Pill Avengers. Honestly, the rise of Islam is extremely concerning. Who is Jalen? Should I know this person? Is this a guy or girl? Honestly, the rise of Islam is extremely concerning. Islam goes against all progressive values. Oh, never mind. It's not. I didn't know this was Jalen, like Nick's friend or whatever. I don't know what this is. What's going to happen when half the world is Islam and suddenly it's not safe for women or queer people? Shut the fuck up. Damn. Trans community YouTuber. Gotcha. This is an irrational fear rooted in xenophobic fear-mongering. You can't be xenophobic to a religion. I hate all of them equally, but if you want to get stoned to death, be my guest. It's an otherized religion practiced by otherized people. Otherized where? Like in your country? Or what do you mean? You've met them, I think. Have I? And I've only been beated and called slurs by Catholics. I've got more pressing issues than worrying about some hypothetical scenario in 2060. Why does it feel like the left... Oh, I've seen this person a lot. Why does it feel like the left is trying to rehab Islam so much more recently? Like, I may be crazy, but I feel like at this point in time, a not-so-small chunk view Christianity is more of a threat than Islam. Also, did you know that Allah is beyond gender? The Quran has a new fan. Oh, cringe. That video is so... Wait, what is it? Is that a real video? What is it? Is that a real video? 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 Is that a real video This is that video clip. I can't tell if it's a meme.
The Quran, and I am so excited about it. People thought when I first asked that I just wanted to read it out of curiosity, but I want to read it to study it. I started following somebody on social media that teaches the Quran and hosts a Quran book club for Muslims and non-Muslims, so I'm really excited to start going to that. She was describing the chapter of the bee, and that just blew my mind. Like, the way that she describes things and the way that the Quran describes things actually makes sense to me. And also, did you know that Allah is beyond gender? Did you know that actually scholars believe that there are two Qurans, the Quran of nature and the Quran, the actual book? And did you know that each chapter is named after a natural phenomenon? I don't know, this whole book is just blowing my mind, and I am so excited. I got sticky notes so that I could mark out things that I was drawn to, and I'm not even through the first chapter, and I already have a bunch of sticky notes. I'm definitely gonna have to buy more tabs. I'm honestly having a whole revolution with myself where the way that I describe the universe and the things that I believe in are actually described in the Quran of believing in Allah. And I've never thought that I believed in God before, and now I'm really having a revolution of self of, I think I actually believe in God. If you've been curious, I really recommend.
Okay, I actually completely and totally changed my perspective, and it only took one video. I would like to apologize because I always wrote this off. I understand why non-white people, non-Americans, I understand why you hate cultural appropriation. I get it now. I get it. I get it. And I was wrong. We were wrong to criticize that. Cultural appropriation is wrong. I understand it. I see it now. You were all right. Okay.
In Allah. And I've never thought that I believed in God before, and now I'm really having a revolution of self of, I think I actually believe in God. If you've been curious, I really recommend it. There are a lot of people who are converting. There's a lot of people who are reading it. I'm not saying I'm going to convert. I'm not saying that I wouldn't. And I don't know. I know that this is exactly what I need right now. I just wanted to say thank you and just point out how excited I am.
This has to be a troll. I don't believe it. Christian, white, straight, unwoke, unvaxxed, gun owner, meat eater, and male. How else can I piss you off today? Oh my god, so f***ing brave. So brave. Important context. Destiny is defending the war crime of killing surrendering opponents because he remembers you can do it in Call of Duty.
So you're saying that, like, if there's a military and you're fighting the enemy and you guys are going to lose, if you just drop your guns, you can just, like, run back and nobody can shoot at you?
Yes, if you drop your guns and raise your arms, you can't be shot anymore.
No, that's surrendering. That's different than running away. You can't drop your guns and just run away and you can't get shot because you have no firearms.
If you're a military threat at the time, it's a military engagement.
Wait, I literally explain it. Destiny is defending the war crime of killing surrendering opponents. I literally just say it's not surrendering. What are we talking about here? Is it gotten to the point to where the clips about me are actually proving my point, but now we're like so far away from any reasonable. Oh yeah, true. You can't even drop your gun in COD. So his argument already doesn't make sense. He explicitly is not talking about someone surrendering. He's talking about someone dropping a gun and running back. Repeating the argument that Carl already debunked is logically an admission of defeat. Carl, what is Carl? Who is this guy? Writer at carlbezier.com. Also works at Jacobin. Warning, warning. Yes, it is clear that this is just Destiny himself and that he is just using alts to try to evade my challenge because he cannot defeat his critics logically. Hey, I'm streaming for 2.5 more hours if you'd like to chat today. Smiley face. We put the smiley. Whoa. It's unfortunate that he has to stoop to these tactics. I used to be a fan of Destiny, but he has turned his back on logic in recent years and now just sees himself as a propagandist for whatever he thinks is right. Wait, am I getting mind? Am I having a stroke, or am I not? I feel like something is breaking down in my brain. Is it apraxia, or is that language? What? Destiny is a propagandist for whatever he thinks is right? I mean, in a way, yeah, but like, isn't that what you're kind of supposed to do? Or I'm not even sure. What are we even saying right now? What? My mind just got exploded. So apparently Nick Fuentes said in his space that he believes only Christians should have a right to be president of the U.S. and other governmental positions. Apparently, as an American Muslim, I should be outraged by this. Why? As a Muslim, I also believe that only Muslims should rule over Muslim land or be the caliph, not a Christian, atheist, Buddhist, or Jew. I believe that as a Muslim in accordance with Islamic law. So why shouldn't a Christian believe the same thing about his Christian majority country? Okay. Are there Zionist Jews who believe a Catholic or Muslim can be prime minister of Israel? Well, I mean, they could be. Theoretically, it could happen tomorrow, but okay. Is there any reason why you can't simply just call out Nick authentically? I feel like he's too perceptive and sly for tactics, like in terms of his character. You call out the fact that he's a thrill seeker spreading idea. No, what are you talking about? You can't call him out authentically. I mean, I do call him out authentically, but he avoids. So you have to you've got to hammer the rhetoric as well. Nick dodges everything. That's why I asked him 50 times, why are you on my blacklist? Do you not cancel people? And he has to pivot immediately. Nick will never answer a question honestly. That's the whole point of his character, is to be dishonest. Illiberal people tend to be. That movie was so good and awful at the time. Mel Gibson is incapable of making a bad movie, okay? He can't do it. Mel Gibson is the Tom Cruise of directing, all right? His movies might not always be amazing, but they're never bad, okay? F you. Hold on, let me check his filmography real quick. The Man Without a Face. Wait, I've never seen this movie before. Was that any good? Oh yeah, and Mel Gibson didn't even direct this movie. F you. I think you still ask your opponent too many questions, which gives them time to ramble again. I think you should just make the statement instead of relying on their good faith to answer. I think I'm generally doing that more. I generally make a strong statement. Although even when I make the strong statement, now there are elements of my audience that get ass mad at me. There are people in my audience who legitimately in YouTube comments and in my subreddit, usually they're kind of downvoted a little bit. But people will say things like Destiny was too aggressive with Badar. It looks so bad. It's like, okay, fuck you. There needs to be a name for the fallacy that Sneako types fall into when they think because a certain actor/party benefits from something, they must be scheming behind the scenes to make it happen. Oh, true. Hold on. Is this under strategy or debate pervertry? Strategy, debate, okay, you're right. Wait, what would we call this? It's like something about there being no coincidences. Hold on. When someone suggests that simply because a party benefited from something, or because they had something to gain from something failing, that there must have been some sort of cohesive plot or scheme in order to bring about that particular thing. Often involving highly subversive and unethical means. What would we call this? The no true coincidental Scotsman fallacy? That's way too loaded. Occam's mallet. I like that one. That's what we're going with. That's Kino. True. Thank you. Okay. I don't get it. Well, Occam's razor seems to... The implication is that the simplest explanation usually makes the most sense. And the razor is a simple, finely cutting, narrow tool. Well, what if we don't go with the simplest explanation, but what if we go with the thing that can explain as many things as possible? Well, instead of a razor, we can use a mallet. It's the opposite. That's good. Somebody said, did you find the term for moral dodgeball, where instead of answering a question, they start virtue signaling? Moral dodgeball. What did we say that one was? I think we call that the deaf preacher. When you refuse to engage with the argument and you just make big sweeping moral/virtue signal statements while avoiding any factual response to what was previously said. The deaf preacher, that's a good one though. Moral dodgeball. Oh shit. I feel like moral dodgeball would fit more the idea of more like when you're accusing somebody of having an unethical moral because of, I swear to God, I'm not trying to retrofit because I like the name. Accusing someone of holding a different core value simply because you disagree with an applied position that they have. This is a big one. So for instance, like if I say like, oh, I'm opposed to rent control, and somebody's like, you hate homeless people. Petition to rename this to horse to water. Debate edging. When you constantly stack descriptive claims one over another that are clearly leading into a certain prescription that you never actually verbalized, causing other people to attack you on a prescriptive claim you've never made and allowing you to refute their argument without addressing the obvious implication of what you're saying. Horse to water. I like debate edging because the idea behind edging is you're never actually getting there. But like, you can't lead a horse to water, or you can't make a horse drink, implies that they really do want the person to get there and they're trying really hard to get them there. I think debate edging fits better. I think. This has to be like a f***ing meme, guys, right? There's no way this is real.
Thing you want to say here?
Like, I feel like he did like a troll stream and you guys are like taking it seriously. Do you ever get tired of the same boring insults, like you being a cuck, or you just ignore them? Oh, no, you just think of ways to counter them and you just keep moving, I guess, right? This post isn't about Jalen, but she makes a good point about Islam, but leftists attacked her for it. Why? It's a huge shocking point in Sweden 10 years ago. It's interesting how the extreme leftism has finally hit the U.S. Sweden took a huge amount of majority adult male Middle Eastern Muslim immigrants for many years. They obviously didn't magically leave their culture behind, and there's been a huge clash between our liberal, equal Swedish society and conservative Islamic people. Honor killings, sexism, grenades thrown at man. I feel like one of the big issues with wait, is this Nim? Is that his name, Nimrose? Or do they just happen to have? I feel like one of the issues in Sweden is you guys had a really bad time. Or maybe I just read this. I need to dig into this more. I think Sweden has a really hard time integrating foreign workers into the workforce. Like people would come to your country as a refugee, but they couldn't work for like a year. Like it seemed like some retarded shit when I read about it. But I could be wrong. Maybe that was just a meme and that's not true. But